I almost forgot. Would you do me the honor of becoming my wife in Fiji on the 5th of July?
Certainly not.
Noel Coward's Bon Voyage on Masterpiece Theater.
Cruise the waters of mutual attraction, Sunday at 9.
Hello, and welcome. I'm Loretta Swit, and I'm very happy to have you along as my guests on this Christmas trip to the heart of Europe. Personally, I'm very excited to see for myself what it will be like to have Christmas in Germany. Somehow Germany and Christmas seem to belong together. As a matter of fact, you're going to find out just how many of our very own Christmas traditions originated in Germany. This isn't my first trip to Germany, and I'm still amazed every time at how much variety there is in this relatively small country. Those tiny islands down there are the Hallux, off Germany's North Sea coast. The farming families there lead a pretty isolated existence, especially in the winter. We're flying south now, over towns and villages with centuries of history behind them, and over famous rivers such as the Main, the Rhine, and the Moselle. All these towns and cities with their wonderfully preserved old buildings have a special charm in the winter. That's Würzburg, for instance, an ancient seat of prince bishops. And in the extreme south of the country are the Alps. While I'm here this time, I'll be hunting down all sorts of fascinating German Christmas customs to share with you. I've been invited to stay with friends in southern Bavaria over the 4 weeks of Advent.
I'd like you to meet my friends, the Schmidts. This little sweetheart is Felicia. This is Teresia, Bernd, and Reinhard. I'm very happy to be here on this first Sunday in Advent. I suppose the next 4 weeks will be much too short for you and much too long for the children.
Loretta, willst du mal meinen Adventskalender sehen?
Yes, show me. Where is it? Oh, what a beautiful Advent calendar, Felicia. Do you want to open the first door? Go on. The popular popularity of the Advent calendar is a recent development in Germany, but it's really caught on in a big way. And it's just the thing to help the children through that long wait up until December 24th, Christmas Eve. They get to open a little window every day, and they can't wait to see what's inside.
Let's take a closer look at what's behind that first little window. It's an Advent wreath, a tradition with a long history, so long that its origins are obscure. An early wreath with a multitude of candles appeared in 1839 in Hamburg. Pastor Heinrich Wichern introduced it in this form to cheer up the cold, bare assembly hall of the orphanage he ran. This is the orphanage as it was reconstructed after World War II. Hamburg is known as Germany's gateway to the world. The city's best-known landmark is the Church of St. Michael, which has been destroyed and rebuilt 3 times in its 330-year history. The concerts in St. Michael's have become quite a famous institution. The spacious and lofty interior provides a wonderful setting for Christmas music. Bach's Christmas Oratorio, for example. Let's open the next little window. Where will our Christmas calendar take us this time? Oh, to another famous northern German city, Lübeck, and its famous landmark, the Holsten Gate. In the Middle Ages, Lübeck was a fabulously wealthy seaport and world trading center. In fact, 500 years ago, it must have looked much the same as it does today. About 1,000 buildings in the city are classified as historical monuments, and one in particular draws people like a magnet at Christmas time, the Hospital of the Holy Ghost. Christmas time is market time under the Gothic gables of the Holy Ghost Hospital. These frescoes are 450 years old. It's one of the very few medieval infirmaries in Germany that's still so well preserved. In fact, right up until 1972, the infirmary was still caring for the old and the homeless. The poor and the infirm were provided with food and lodging in these tiny Kabäusken, actually not much larger than cubbyholes. Now the building is a museum, but it's opened up for 1 week in Advent for the Christmas market. The money raised goes to charitable and cultural institutions. In the Middle Ages, the port of Lübeck was an important trading center, specializing in exotic spices and other goods. These are the display windows of the Niederregger store. 150 years ago, a young pastry cook by that name set up a family business. The name is still famous all over the world for marzipan. The company exports to 32 countries, and the U.S. is its biggest customer. Almonds and sugar are the main ingredients of marzipan. In the old days, marzipan was a luxury reserved for the rich because the ingredients came from far, far away. The exact proportion of almonds to sugar is a closely guarded secret. These days, a marzipan necklace or Santa Claus figure is as much a part of the Christmas tradition for German families as a tree and the Advent wreath.
Marzipan. Well, now you know a little bit about the history of marzipan. St. Nicholas is a must in every Christmas assortment. He plays a very important role all over Germany on the evening of December 5th. He assumes different shapes in different regions. Sometimes he has helpers, sometimes he doesn't. Let's have a look at some of the really unusual Nicholas traditions.
At Hirlingen, for example, in southern Germany, some 1,600 years separate this St. Nicholas from the original one. He was Bishop Nicholas of Myra, a town in what is now Turkey. The bishop was renowned as a champion of the poor, and especially of children. The St. Nicholas fire is a tradition still preserved in only a very few places in southern Germany. It's a remnant of the heathen customs that mingled over the years with Christian ones. For 1,000 years, Nicholas has been the patron saint of many churches. With his mitre, golden crook, and richly embroidered robes, Nicholas looks like a medieval bishop, but in fact, the real Nicholas was a poor man. In a barn at the foothills of the Alps near Berchtesgaden, intriguing preparations are underway for something called the Buttenmandellauf. For this very special Nicholas tradition, the players are bundled up in straw. The idea is to make them look as fearsome as possible, and then they go out and create as much of a noise as they can with cowbells and all sorts of other instruments. Butten is an old German word meaning to riddle, or rattle, or shake. In the past, the remote mountain valleys were thought to be inhabited by demons and spirits, especially in the winter. And this was the time of the year when they had to be frightened out of their wits and sent packing for the next 12 months. The small female figure at Nicholas' side is the Nicholas Weibel, actually an 8-year-old boy. His function is to reconcile the opposites and mediate between good and evil. And so things won't get out of hand when the Buttenmandel players storm the village. Nicholas pronounces a blessing. The farmer's wife, she provided the straw for the costumes, by the way, now sprinkles all the participants with holy water. They are all unmarried men born in the village, and those conditions must be fulfilled before anyone is allowed to wear the costume of a riddle-rattle man. Now there's nothing more to hold them back. The noise they make can be heard throughout the whole valley. Meanwhile, in the living room, the family tries to enjoy some music while they wait with mixed feelings for Nicholas and his retinue to arrive.
Ja, liebe Kinder,
Nicholas greets the children kindly, but in the same breath, he puts the fear of the devil into them.
Doch auch des Krampus, Stimme dazwischen, tat sich in die Botschaft mischen. Wart ihr denn brav in diesem Jahr? Na, ich will einmal sehen, was in meinem goldenen Buch wird stehen. Ja, das Folgen geht halt manchmal schwer. Ja, ja, der Krempel schaut schon her. Ich weiß,
He knows every naughty thing they've done. It's all noted down in his golden book. Now, where could he possibly have gotten all his information?
Und weil ich sowas gerne mag, schenk ich euch heute etwas aus meinem Sack.
Evidently, the children have been pretty well behaved this year, so they get little presents from the two devils, having passed muster, at least until next Christmas. But Nicholas still has lots of other families to visit, so he takes his leave with a final warning and a
Ich muss
blessing.
jetzt zu anderen Kindern gehen, die noch